Hey everyone, how's it going, and welcome back to Robot Boy. And in this video we're going to be taking a look at some of the top new features that were added in No Man's Sky Next that make No Man's Sky feel like a brand new experience. Of course, there were actually an unbelievable amount of new things that were added to the game, which you can find in the patch notes, and I'll actually be releasing a video running through the patch notes in their entirety at some point soon as well. But for now, let's dive into the list that I've combined of some of the biggest notable changes. Number 1, multiplayer, the big one. You've probably all heard about it, and if not, then you definitely know that it was not in No Man's Sky at launch. I know, big surprise. There was a small uproar about it, I think some people were upset about it. Anyway, now it's here, multiplayer's in the game in full, allowing you to fully team up and cooperate with up to 3 other friends or randomers in a lobby. You can do literally anything and everything in the game in multiplayer now, or completely solo still if you so please to play in that way. You can even fight and kill each other in this multiplayer, as well as trading, doing missions, building bases, generally exploring, literally everything. You can see up to 16 people in total in a session. However, currently anyone outside of your 4-player party appears as a white orb. This will not remain the case permanently and will eventually be updated to show all 16 players in real time as their full player models. Speaking of which, number 2 is character customization. Hello Games have not only just added player models, but the complete ability to customize your characters from the very beginning of the game, with all cosmetics unlocked and free to change. You can choose between 5 races, all of which have a large variety of entirely customizable colors, patterns, body parts, items of clothing, and much more. Go crazy. Number 3 is third person. Now, all of this character customization is great, but what's the point if you can't even see your character when playing, seeing as No Man's Sky is a first person game? Well, fear no more, my friend, as No Man's Sky now has a fully functional third person mode for both on foot and for your starships, with a wide range of animations to accompany all of this. You can really appreciate the scale of the galaxy and the planets using this new camera angle. All players have access to emotes as well, allowing you to visually share your feelings with other players. If third person isn't your thing though, you can freely switch back to first person at any time and remain in first person for the entirety of the game if you wish to do so. Number 4, expanded base building. Base building has gone from being extremely limited to near unlimited. The change is drastic. You can build bases now anywhere on a planet, even underwater. There are hundreds of new base parts, along with an increased build cap of 20,000 individual pieces per base, allowing you to fully realize your long-awaited fantasy of building a large, fully functional space colony. On top of all of this, you can own multiple bases across different regions, planets, and even star systems. Number 5, ownable star fleets. Previously, you could own just 1 freighter per save that ultimately just acted as a really expensive suitcase. You could put stuff in it and transport it around, and that was about it. Now you can recruit and command up to 50 individual frigates that specialize in combat, exploration, trade, industry, or support. In an Assassin's Creed type manner, you can now also manually send off individual ships on intergalactic missions to yield various rewards. What's great here though, and what's different to the Assassin's Creed model of it, is that if you send a ship to another galaxy and then you warp there yourself after it's been sent off, you will actually find the freighter there, completing the mission in real time. It's all part of Hello Games' work to create a sense of a truly persistent open universe. Number 6, hidden treasure. A feature that I think has made exploration really worthwhile now is hidden treasure. Procedurally buried on planets lie unique treasures, some worth up in the millions. These aren't your boring rare resources that were in No Man's Sky before, no. These are crafted treasures with their own deep and fulfilling lore attached to them. The search for them in itself is the main fun, but the rewards in some cases are incredible. Number 7, crafting overhaul. Crafting is now in a completely different state than it was before. It's still complex for sure, but instead of being repetitive and drawn out, well, even more repetitive and drawn out, it's still kind of repetitive, but you know, that's the point of the game. There are now quicker and more various stages to the mechanic that at least make you feel like you're having some sort of effect on the materials you are creating. Revamped from the ground up, elements have been completely replaced and even removed in order to streamline the system and make everything more logical. Additions of refineries and even different mining tools also help to make the mechanic that was once the monotonous staple gameplay loop of past is now at least somewhat more interesting and rewarding. The game still heavily revolves around it, of course, but the experience is much more streamlined. Number 8. Dangerous fauna and flora. Sentinels aren't the only threat to look out for now when exploring planets. Yes, creatures could attack you before, but they kind of just whined at you and jumped on you. Now, however, there is a much greater variation in both the creatures and plant life that can potentially end your own life. Toxic oozing weeds that plague tunnel systems. Balls of brightly coloured ooze that suddenly extend spikes of death at you upon your approach. Not to mention the xenomorph-like creatures that lie in wait in their eggs to prey on poor explorers naive enough to poke at them. Number 9. A visual overhaul. Improved draw distances, general terrain generation improvements, allowing for more accurately simulated mountains, caves, oceans, continents, and overall more variety between biomes, level of detail improvements, even matching textures of planets from space to the real generation once you enter the atmosphere, yet that didn't used to be a thing but now it is. Taller trees, denser forests, dynamic tessellation, volumetric clouds, ringed planets, and much more have helped ground No Man's Sky's ultimately core experience of exploration to be the best that it has ever been. Exploration permeates every single aspect of No Man's Sky's gameplay, so to have such a visual overhaul and an attempt to massively improve the graphical fidelity makes everything much more appealing to look at, and it's just a general fantastic improvement. Number 10. Community engagement. Lastly, a feature that has been long awaited externally for the game is interaction and constant support from Hello Games. We now no longer have to wait literally a whole year to hear Sean Murray speak about No Man's Sky. We are now getting constant feedback about updates and plans for the game's future. And additionally, and most importantly, weekly events are now going to start happening in-game. The full depth as to what these will entail is yet unknown, but I'll be sure to update you once more info is revealed. So that's it everyone, please do leave your ideas and your thoughts in the comments below. What are your favourite new features that have been added in the game? I'm sure I've missed a load of them. These were just the top 10 biggest ones I thought were important to get out there and to alert new players to if you haven't played the game yet. As always, please give the video a like if you enjoyed, and do subscribe to join me on this journey if you haven't done so already. And with that, I'll see you all in the next video. Seriously though, f the no.